Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Prabhjot Sahni. I'm a registered migration agent. I'm from Aussizz Cranbourne branch. So we just opened a new branch as Aussizz Group in Cranbourne, which is southeast of Melbourne. So yeah, so today we welcome all our audience on our live session, Ask Aussizz. So where our clients they can ask their visa related inquiries for them and their relatives as well. So yeah, so massive changes coming up in the migration. There was today massive news for the employer sponsored visas, 482 from short term list, they can get the permanent residency as well. So that's a massive news. So they're promoting employer sponsored visas. So yeah, so we just wait for our clients to join in as well. If they have any questions, then hopefully we'll be able to answer their questions. So yeah, if we miss any of the questions, so the clients can visit any of our Aussizz branch, or they can call any of the Aussizz branches, so and get their queries resolved. So yeah, so we'll just wait for the questions, and then yeah, so hopefully we'll try and answer the question as well. So as was announced by the Minister of Immigration, Claire O'Neill, in March, they are overhauling all the migration systems. So they'll bring in changes to the point-based general skill migration as well, and they'll promote the employer-sponsored visas, and they'll make pathways for the ST as well, short-term skilled occupationalist visas as well, cook. A transport company manager. So there are so many other hotel managers. So these prospective clients or these prospective visa applicants who are currently on 482 visa, they can be on they can get the permanent residency, and they reduce the time period for the temporary transition stream as well from 3 years to 2 years. So I should say they will, still a news, and they'll most likely it'll be implemented from, as the department promises, from 25th of November 2023 onwards. So that's great news for all the employer sponsored visas or visa holders, so they can get their 186 visas in the future. So, and most likely, as they said in March, they may change the parent visa system as well. They may bring in a lottery system. Currently, all the visa offshore, 3 offshore visa options and 3 onshore visa options still available. So, but they may bring in changes for that as well, as they said, end of this calendar year 2023. So yeah, so a lot of things changing, and they're trying to process the visas and trying to clear all their backlogs as well, all those applications which had been pending for so many months, they're trying to clear all those visa applications as well. So yeah, that's good for the visa and good for the migration industry as well. And most likely they'll bring in changes for the student visa, who they may change it from GT to GST, general student tests in the future. So let's see, they're trying to make a lot of changes in the migration industry. So we're still waiting for our clients to forward their questions, and then yeah, so hopefully we can. We are based in Victoria, and currently Victoria, for Victoria, uh, general skill migration, the first step, for any other states as well, you do an expression of interest first, and then and we require 4 things for the expression of interest, age must be less than 45, the point score, you get different point score for your age, different uh, for different age you get different points. So for age, for your qualification, for your years of experience in the relevant occupation, and for your partner, for your partner's English, for your partner's skill assessment. So all these things, NATI, and your profession here as well. So you get points, and the minimum point score should be at least 65. That's the qualifying pass score for lodging an EOI. So first thing is your age less than 45, your point score at least 65, you got a valid skill assessment, and then uh, you got at least 6 each competent English. So yeah, so we got the first question from our client Bilal. So I've done civil construction design diploma from Perth. How much points I will get if I get 8 each? My age is 28, partner with competent English, and I've finished diploma in 1 year from now. How much points will I get, and what are the chances of 491? So Bilal, for your age 28, you get 30 points. If the age bracket is from 22, 25 to 33, you get 30 points. And if you've done diploma and if you've done any bachelor's in the past as well, maybe from your home country or from Australia, you get for bachelor's you get 15 points. For diploma, if you complete diploma, you get 10 points. So for partner competent English, you get 5 points. And if you your partners get she gets a skill assessment as well, you get additional 5 points. So yeah, and if you complete 2 years of study in Australia, you get additional 5 points. So 30 for your age. Qualification, we take diploma 10 points, for your partner English 5. And if you get 8 each, you get 20 points. So 7 each gives you 10, 8 each gives you 20 points. And if you complete 2 years of study in Australia, that gives you 5 points. So we're looking at 70 individual points. And for 491, every applicant gets 15 points. So you'll be sitting at a handsome score of 85 points, which is very decent score for Western Australia graduate stream. So if you do uh, your course, Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction Design from Western Australia, good chance, because they are prioritizing this construction, building and construction industry, and civil construction design makes you eligible for skill assessment for occupational civil engineering draft person, which falls under this building and construction industry. So good chance, you will fall under graduate stream, and very good chance of getting an invite. So yeah, so that's the answer to your question for regarding points and regarding lodging and EOI for Western Australia. So we got another one from Rebecca, certificate 3 in horticulture and RPL qualification, but my experience and position is nursery person. Is there any chance to get gardener skill assessment? The two occasions are occupations are very same, and I do very similar tasks like gardener, but I am a nursery person position. So let's do it. So gardener is actually a nursery person, isn't it? So in itself, gardener is not an occupation. So nursery person, but is in a list of regional occupation list. So if you get a skill assessment as a nursery person, either you can try for 491 stream based on your point score, or otherwise you can try for employer sponsored visa as well. For that you would need 2 years, but you already have 3 years. And if you get RPL qualification, you can do a 480 employer sponsored visa, but there'll be a caveat: the employer must be based in regional Australia. So yeah, so nursery person is the gardener occupation. So uh, yeah, gardener. Oh yeah, gardener is on STSOL. Sorry, just 1 second. Yeah, if you see the ANSCO code for gardener and nursery person, so nursery person is 3624 and gardener is 3622. So even though they may sound similar, but yeah, for to get a gardener skill assessment, it's a different ANSCO occupation. So if you think you do the duties for a gardener as well, and as long as the employer can write on their reference letter and you can provide the pay evidence for that, that you're doing all the duties of gardener, then we can try for gardener skill assessment. But it's a different ANSCO group. The first 4 digits of the ANSCO code define the group. So yeah, gardener is 3622 and nursery person is 3622. So but nursery person is on ROL, so it limits your option. So you can't go for 190, but gardener is on ST as well. So you can it gives you a better chance for a skilled nominated 190 visa as well. So my bad, I said nursery gardener is same, but it's a different occupation, gardener. So it's not a very because usually people with the trade occupation they pick MLTSSL stream occupations, and not like, because you only get 485 or temporary graduate visa if you're doing the MLTSSL stream occupation. Yeah, but regarding your query, if you can provide evidence that you do all the duties for the gardener, then it should work. And as long as you can provide the reference letter and the payment evidence. We got another question from Pujan Tanna. So please give some information of capstone exam to become Omara. Uh, so that's not related to the visa question, but they changed the pattern now in October. So like, instead of getting 3 exams, so like, first stage, second stage, and then your oral. So they only do 2 exams. So one is your written assessment, which you do online, and then the other one your oral exam. So you can find more on Omara website regarding the capstone exam. But yeah, it's not relevant to visa. And I did my thing 5 years ago, so it's all changed now. So yeah, so let's move on to the next question. Kirandeep Kaur, what about 190 processing time? It should be, it's been 7 months already. Why are they taking so long? So they only, look, Kirandeep, if you check the average processing time on the IMI Home Affairs website, they only provide average processing time information. So it's not a set pattern, like, so you may find your friends visa they getting processed earlier than you, or like, some can take longer as well. So but usually on if you check on their website, it says 8 to 10 months processing time. So like, there can be different factors how they pick up the application. So we very hard to speculate on that. But like, as long as your application is within the average processing time, like, there is no way, or like, even if you request the department to like, give us any information on the processing of the application, usually they're very reluctant to provide any information. So yeah, so with the processing time, it's very hard to comment. So yeah, so just make sure you lodge the decision ready application. If anything pending, like, if you need to provide your overseas police clearance certificates or medical examinations, make sure you done that. Like, if the partner is involved in the application as well, make sure you provide all the partner their partners function English, or relationship evidence for the partner. Like, specifically they look for the financial aspects of the relation. So yeah, make sure you upload all the documents to your online applications, and that's what we can do from our end. But unfortunately very hard, like, to comment on your question, like, why they're taking so long. But like, this at the time that the government changed in the federal, like, it's labor government now. So they're trying to be very fast, and they're trying to clear the backlog. So yeah, so they trying to clear the applications is much better than what we had before. So yeah, so I can just only say, like, wish you all the best. Like, hopefully your application gets processed soon. We got another one, Mustafa Shabir. What are the chances of fabricator in Victoria? So fabricator is a trade occupation, so level 3. So Victoria, the last couple of rounds they had done, like, then they invited people who had a skilled partner, and that too for the level 1 occupation. So level 1 means, like, any occupation which requires a bachelor or a higher level qualification. So that's the trend what we've seen in the last couple of rounds for this year, and even for the last financial year. So Victoria, like, usually invite level 1 occupations for 190, but yeah, for 491 definitely they invite trade occupations as well. Yeah, but like, if and they consider a few factors: your English score, your partner. Like, if you got skilled partner, then they really prioritize if someone's got a skilled partner. So they, like, I've seen, like, our clients, they get invites if they have a skilled partner. Plus they check your English, and the higher the salary, the better are the chances. So your chances would be better, I would say, being a trade occupation for a 491 rather than 190 for Victoria. But for 491, of course, you need to meet the requirements for registration of interest for Victoria, which is like, you must be living in regional and must be working at a skill level 1, 2, 3 in regional. So yeah, as I said, like, they check for your overall point score, your English score, your, if you got a partner, skilled partner, and your number of experience in the relevant occupations, and your salary. So they, like, do permutations and combinations on all these 5 requirements. But we've seen, like, this the skilled partner requirement and the salary requirement, they really put a lot of weight on these requirements based on the previous uh, round. So yes, so so I would say based on the previous nomination invitations, we got a good chance for 491. So let's move on to the next question. So Varanga is asking if working as a head chef in Greater Adelaide and got 2 years of full-time experience, lived and worked in Australia for over 4 years, point score for 65 plus 5 for 190, already apply ROI 2 weeks ago. Haven't received any reply. How was the possibility of 190? Look, for the current financial year requirements for South Australia, that you must be residing in South Australia for 12 months and must have worked at the time of lodgement at least 6 months and 30 hours per week. And as you're saying, you're living for over 4 years. Yeah, so you're not still not long-term resident because that requirement is for 5 years. So, but yeah, you fulfill all the requirements and you done the ROI. So yeah, but seats are low this year, but still you got a very good chance of getting picked, because you meet all the requirements for their nomination requirements. So yeah, you may get an invite, hopefully soon, and maybe 190. So let's hope for the best. So Bilal's got another question. I already done Masters of Accounting from Sydney. Will I get additional 5 points as well if I complete civil construction 1 year from Perth fast track? Still, I need to do 2 years. I'm on 485. Look, for your Masters of Accounting, you get 5 points because you completed or you met the Australian study requirement of 2 years of study, which is at completed in 16 calendar months, and the course must be at least registered for 92 weeks with CRI code. So yeah, so you get those 5 points. So you, even though you're going for civil construction design occupation or civil construction draft person, you still get those 5 points. But if you do fast track diploma from Perth and 1 year, so you won't be considered an undergraduate stream. So if you wanna be considered undergraduate stream in Western Australia, then you need to complete 2 years of study in Western Australia. That's the requirement for a graduate stream. You must complete 2 years study in Western Australia. But regarding your question, if you completed Masters of Accounting from Sydney, you still get those 5 additional points for Australian study requirement. So Seem asking, what are the chances for Chef 75 in Western Australia? Looks, Simla, you have to be in it to win it. So yeah, so they say you meet the requirement, you meet the minimum point score for trade occupation for Western Australia, and if you're living in Western Australia, so Western Australia is the only state which accepts the interstate applicants as well. But if you are already in Western Australia, definitely they even though they let other state temporary visa holders invite the apply for the UIs as well, or they say they'll be selected as well. But we've seen in the past rounds for the last financial year and this financial, they only picking up the applicants from their own state, so the people who are, or the temporary visa holders who are in Western Australia. So yeah, so 75 points, if you can improve the score, that'll be brilliant. But yeah, so definitely apply and good chance you may get an invite. So if you done study from Western Australia as well, as I said earlier, good chance, because graduate stream, it drastically improve your chances of getting picked in Western Australia. So let's move to the next. Abigail, prospective to graduate Master of Social Work in 2024, above 45 years. So what are my pathway? Unfortunately, Abigail, so the cutoff age for the skilled graduate visa or the general skilled migration visa is 45 unless they change it in the future. So yeah, so uh, very 482 is the only visa which doesn't have any age requirement. So yeah, so there'll be one option, but that would need 2 years of full-time experience and plus an employer who is willing to sponsor you for the 482 employer sponsored visa. So, but yeah, for general, if we're talking general skilled migration above 45, unfortunately, at the moment, what the law says is the cutoff age for skilled migration or the temporary graduate visa is 45. So yeah, so you won't be able to, unless like, I mean, they change the age limit or the age bracket in future. So yeah, the 482 will be an option, but you need 2 years of full-time experience for that. So Saurabh Makkad is asking chances of Western Australia 491 computer network system engineer with 75 points, including state. Yeah, look, like, so for Western Australia, so you are eligible, but like, again, like, this year the number of seats are very, very low. So and Western Australia is prioritizing building and construction sector. But if we look our data uh, uh, based on the previous rounds for this financial year, yeah, like, I can say very, very, very good chance. So yeah, so just because EOI doesn't cost anything, like, and if you get an invite, and like, this year Western Australia is not even charging for nomination application, so definitely apply EOI. And yeah, you have to be in the line to get the invite, so you never know. So moving to the next question, Harshana, what are the chances of early childhood teacher with 70 points in Victoria? So yeah, so I've got myself like, 3 or 4 applications, so where I lodge EOI and for early childhood teachers, and so we're waiting for the invite, because as I said earlier, so Victoria is prioritizing applicants with skilled partner. So if Harshna, if you got a skilled partner, like, if you got a partner who got a skill assessment as well and claiming those 10 points, so for partner points you need to have skill assessment plus competent English as well. Just competent English gives you 5 points, and if you got a skill assessment for the partner, like, plus English, so then you get the 10 points. So yeah, so if you got a skilled partner, and plus it goes with your salary as well. But yeah, so last year everyone over 65, for teachers or nurses or even chefs, like, chefs for 189, so they all got invite, like, but this year seats are low, so Victoria's only got 2,500 seats for 190, and for 491 about 600 odd seats. So and they they're not exhausted, but they still used up, like, in the last rounds they quite a number of seats. So trend is they picking up skilled partner, and yeah, again the salary would make a difference as well if you working as a teacher or, like, at level 1, 2, 3. So these points matter, but definitely good chance, because teachers overall Australia is highly short of teachers. So like, if not this round, like, you fingers crossed, you will your profile will definitely get picked. And like, even 189, the round hasn't happened since 25th of May 2023. That was the last round. Before that it was in December last year. So, and 8th of December 2022, everyone knows, like, the federal government invited 35,000 odd people for 189. So yeah, fingers crossed, like, you have to be in it, and hopefully you use, like, in some round you get that desired invite. So yeah, so but very, very, very hard to speculate, like, because as I said, like, even my own clients, like, I've got 3 teachers, like, very similar score, 65 to 75, and they all single, so we're still waiting for the invite. So like, all the candidates in the previous round, they're getting invites if they got skilled partners. So Rahul Patel, I'm offshore with 80 points in mechanical engineering technician. What is the chance of state sponsorship? State can give me the sponsorship. Uh, my partner. So I believe you got a good English score, Rahul, because you claiming points from offshore, and plus, like, you probably have a good uh, experience as well. Like, you must be claiming experience points as well. So mechanical engineering technician is a level 2 occupation. So you can pretty much uh, apply for, so you can apply for Victoria as well. And if you fall under the Queensland critical occupation list, you can go for Queensland. And most of the occupation they are require 3 to 5 years experience. So yeah, if you got experience, so definitely go for Queensland as well. And South Australia uh, can consider you for 491. So you like, I strongly suggest you apply for all these states. And New South Wales, they given target sector this year, so like, so yours won't fall under the target sector. So like, not a good chance for New South Wales. But other than that, like try all the state and even ACT. So definitely Victoria, Western Australia, South Australia, ACT, so and Queensland if it's I'll check for you as well if it's on Queensland's field occupation list. Yeah, so mechanical engineering is on technician is on their list, and they require 4 years of experience. So if you got 4 years of experience, you apply for Queensland as well. So definitely try Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia. It's listed on the top. Western Australia follows the Department of Home Affairs, the legislative instrument 19/051. So all the occupations are there. So NACT. So try for all these occupations, and even South Australia, they'll consider for you for 491. So moving on to the next question, Devangi, what are the chances at 75 points state uh, in physiotherapy? Look, Devangi, if you got a skill assessment as a physiotherapist, so yeah, good chance. So for even for 189 or for Victoria, like I'm not sure which state you in, but yeah, cause it's a health sector occupation and it's like as good as a doctor. So yeah, definitely great chance on 70 individual points. Like you're saying 75 points including state, so definitely a good chance provided you got the skill assessment. So definitely go for it. So Abigail, to clarify, 45 temporary visa for 82 will allow to stay in Australia for work, live, and study, and for how long? Look, Abigail, you're doing Master of Social Work, so you're if provided you get 7 each, you can get from a skill assessment from AASW, Australian Association of Social Workers. But like for 482, you don't need a skill assessment. You need a 2 years of full-time experience. So it allows you, because it's on MLTSSL, you can go for a maximum of 4 years of nominated visa through your employer, and it can be extended while you staying on shore. So yeah, so but there is still no PR pathway for people above 45 years of age. Or for 186, the requirement is age cutoff is 45, so you won't be able to go for unfortunately for permanent residency pathway because you are above 45. But for 482, the question like you asking is will it allow to stay in Australia for work, live, and study? Definitely. So you can live, you can study, and you can work, but you can work only in your, because 482 comes with the nomination or the visa condition, like you give an undertaking to the department, so you can only work with the employer who had nominated you or who sponsored you. So you have to work with that employer and for the same nominated occupation. So you can't work in a different occupation and can't work for a different employer. Or you can work for a different employer if you do a new nomination application, find a new employer and do a new nomination application. So yeah, that's the way to go. So yeah, so you can work, live, and study on your 482 visa, and same for your dependents as well. I'm just waiting for new questions while I'm just skip through the old questions, like if we got any previous questions which we missed. Got a question. I got now. I don't see the name, but it's I've got a PhD degree in management science. I'm currently working as a full-time researcher in academia and got good academic records. Can I apply for a master's degree in IT? So, of course, for like you can apply for master's degree in IT. That won't be, the admission most likely will not be an issue because IT is like any end like it becomes a it's a career progression for all all previous study or previous stream. So I believe the admission with the university wouldn't be an issue, but for visa, you need to prove to the department like you are a genuine temporary student. So like or you'll need to provide a GT statement and plus like all the funds requirement like you got 1 year of living expenditure which stands about $23,000 and 1 year of your tuition fee and plus your return airfare. So that's what you need to show while you lodging your. If you're doing a student visa application, there's the funds. Like, you show funds, and the most important criteria would be GT. Like why are you switching from a management science career to an IT career? So if you can show some sort of relevance, maybe previous experience as an IT person, or like you can prove to the department that like there is certain reason, and you see a good career pathway for you in the future, then definitely you can apply for a master's of IT to some uni and a CRICO registered uni, and then lodge a student visa with the department as well. So yeah, so admission shouldn't be an issue. So Sheikh, moving on to the next question. I'm a chemistry technician, about 5 years of experience. So what are the chances of getting 4.9? So we getting a lot of question asking the chances. So this year's been very slow for the invitations. So like I'm sitting in Victoria, so Victoria mainly prefers applicants with the skilled partners. So that's the trend for this year for Victoria. So chemistry technician level 2 occupation and relevant to science. So last year it was STEM, but yeah, so this year it's little bit changed, like the priority things for Victoria or for like other states as well. So, but yeah, so not sure if you offshore or in Australia and which state. So, but if you in Australia and the state you working or living in, or you graduate from some state, then definitely try for that state. Like if you graduated in Australia, definitely like the good chance. Like they always prefer like the states who has or who have a graduate stream. Like Western Australia is there, and South Australia graduate stream is even like very lucrative. Like cause as long as you complete 50% of the course there, so they don't have the 2 years requirement. So as long as you've done the 50% of the course there and at least 46 weeks of the course there and completed the course there, you considered South Australian international graduate, and plus like no additional requirement like 12 months of residence and 6 months of work experience as 30 hours per week. So that's the South Australian requirement. So yeah, so depending like where you studied and where you currently are. So most like you're saying 5 years experience, so maybe like your qualifications from like offshore and like you attain some experience offshore and like so yeah, the different factors matter, but like definitely 5 years experience is every state see that experience thing. Like the higher the experience, they definitely prefer people with higher experience. So definitely, even if your point score is low, as long as you qualify for the 65 qualifying marks, definitely apply and you got a chance like to get an invite. So next question. I have recently completed a Masters of Information and Communication Technology from Bandura, Lucknow. Would you be able to suggest the best steps? So look, you done master's degree. So first thing you can apply is your temporary graduate visa 485. And if you qualification is eligible qualification on the which like which was released a few months ago, so you can get 5 years of 485 as well. And if it's not on the eligible qualification list, you get the 3 years of TR. So in those 3 years you will develop your PR pathway. So like for skill assessment for all the ICT occupations, like you go to ACS, Australian Computer Society. So post Australian qualification, either you can complete a 1 year of professional year, or you can work in your occupation for 1 year, like 20 hours a week, like so 20 hours a week, 52 weeks, and then you apply for the skill assessment. So you go to ACS and they take about like 12 to 15 weeks to give you the skill assessment. Once we have the skills assessment, so then you can apply for, then it opens the doors for your like that's the foundation thing, like where you go for your future pathway through general skilled migration. So but if you already like you completed, so you got the completion letter transcript, so you go for temporary graduate 485 in post-study work stream. So depending upon so we need the COE code, CRICOS code, and then we can see if you eligible for 3 years or 5 years of a PR visa. And so for temporary graduate visa, you just need four things: completion letter, you need to prove you studied 2 years. So your completion letter and transcripts, plus you buy adequate health insurance, which is overseas visitor health cover, OVSC, and then your English score overall 6, nothing less than 5 or equivalent in PT or other English proficiency tests. So for PT is overall 50, nothing less than 36, and then you need to apply for your AFT check. So you do these four things, and you apply for your 485, and so 3 or 5 years is a massive period. So then for IT, I can say one thing: you need good English score to get an invite. So it's see the trend for Victoria. So you need minimum 80, 85 points or 90 points, so you need good English, and then you develop improve your score and develop your pathway for your PR through general skilled migration 189, 190 or 490 one visa. So another question from Gehan Aisha: Hi, what are the chances of conference and event organizer with 70 points, with state points 70, state points 2, 491? I have competent level for PT test. So you got 70 points, including the state points. So I'm not sure which state you are in, but yeah. So conference event organizer, I can say one thing is we won't see much competition in that. You don't it's not the usual trend what the students do here, doing an IT course or trade course, which are common. So yeah, so if they need, if depending on the state you are in, if you apply for the EOI and the application to the state as per their requirement, as Victoria do the ROI, or Western Australia says just do the EOI and we do the rest. And South Australia changed the process as well. They're not taking the direct nomination application. Now they ask the applicants to do the ROI. So yeah, depending upon the state you are in, so you can definitely, yeah, so apply for 491, if you got 70 points, including the state, provided you meet the requirements for the state you are in. So any chances of 189? Look, very Man Sidhu is asking. So we're not sure. Pre-COVID they were doing rounds quarterly, then they started doing monthly, then they started doing bi-monthly. So last year was very, very, very good. Till December, and then they held everything till May, and now it's already so June, July, August, September, October, more than 5.5 months. So everyone's waiting, including us. When the federal government is gonna do the next 189 invitation round. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, very very soon, or before Christmas. So let's hope for the best. But very very hard to predict. If we do predict, we'll just be lying. So not sure when they do the next round, but hopefully soon. So Pujan Tanna, I got pre-invite from Western Australia, submitted for the nomination. I got all the required documents as per the EOI. Is there any chance not to get them? Look, as long as you provide them all the documents, so they I believe you in Western Australia, and you claim you residing in Western Australia as a temporary visa holder. So if you have provided all the documents, that since your UI you are residing in Western Australia, you provided them the lease agreement, utility bill, or needed bank statement, or your date of arrival and stuff, but usually if you got the lease agreement and utility bill, more than enough. So as long as you provide the your residence evidence, and plus all the points you claiming in your EOI, and and no document is fabricated, I would say, so it's all genuine, then yeah, they then you get the invite. So and hopefully they say 28 days, but you will get hopefully then get the invite soon, and then yeah, you get that good looking apply visa button in your UIN, right? But they can take up to 5 days, after you get them the nomination approval. So yeah, so wish you all the best, as long as you provided all the documents. So for residence and for all your points claimed in your UI, it should be all good. Moving on to next question, Maninder Chauhan asks, the question is, what are the chances of motor mechanic with 70 points for 189, 75 points for 190, and 85 for Victoria, Western Australia, currently in week. So look, Maninder, Western Australia does allow people that they say they'll consider the interstate applicants as well. But in my experience, like I haven't seen them picking up any applicant from other or interstate until unless you on a critical occupation which they can't find in Western Australia. So yeah, Western Australia chances would be low, but yeah, for Western Victoria, because yours is a trade occupation. So if you go for if you meet the requirements for 491, living in regional and working in regional in level 1, 2, 3, or if you're working in your own general motor mechanic occupation, so your chances would be good for 491. But having said that, seats are low, only 600 odd seats, so uh, very hard to speculate. Yeah, but for I would say if I were you, so I would have applied for 491 rather than 190, because Victoria usually prefers for 190 for skill level 1 occupations rule, engineering and IT, social workers and teachers. So these are the occupation they see uh, for 190. For trade occupation, usually the trend is 491. So if you meet the requirements for 491, I would suggest you go for 491, because they only allow to choose you to choose one, either 190 or 491. So yeah, so 189, no rounds happened since 25th of May 2023. So let's see, maybe one of those rounds, when we do see the next one, which we saw the golden day of our migration industry, 8th of December, when 35,000 odd people were invited. So who knows? So yeah, so but very hard to speculate, 70 points for 189, what are the chances? So yeah, we can only uh, comment when you get the invite, or when we have the data in front of us. But yeah, so fingers crossed they do the round soon and we all get the answers. So yeah, so but for Victoria, yeah, try for 491, I would suggest. So Salman Shabir is asking, just needs to see to ask, Western Australia already exceeded their 490. So is there a chance to look? Victoria is saying January they'll close and they will until further notice. So which may lead us to think that there is a overhauling. The federal government may overhaul the GSM point-based migration system, or they may increase the quota. So not sure, with if Western Australia or other states would get an increased quota, or what happens. So only time will tell. So but yeah, so Victoria is saying January 2020, early January 2024, they'll close the current application thing. So that strongly leads us to think, either some changes are coming in the migration, or they we may see an increase in quota. But when the federal government allocated the quota to all the different states, they said they have a massive backlog for the skilled migration applications for this year. So they're just trying to complete, or clear the backlog. That's why the quota has been drastically reduced for this year from last year. So yeah, let's see, only time will tell, what where the future is for general skill migration. So they may completely overhaul the point based migration and bring in something altogether new. So fingers crossed. Let's see, what's in line for us. So Maninder is asking, my TR is expiring soon, so applying for a student visa, which course would be good for PR, so I can get more options? And if I didn't get for motor mechanics, so go back to Maninder's previous question. So yeah, I believe Maninder's done uh, certificate 3, you probably done, and then if you done certificate 4 as well, that usually comes in a package only, and then if you done diploma as well, then yeah. So if you uh, we need to apply for a new student visa for you, then you need to see some career progression as well, because you need to meet the GTE requirement for the student visa as well. So it's on one side you see the future PR options, and on the other side you have to meet the GT criteria for your student visa application as well. So either you can switch to a different trade, maybe auto electrician is there or heavy diesel, so that gives you a second option. But again, it's a trade only. So or you do some there are a couple of options where you don't need to do the job ready program thing for the skill assessment, civil construction design and the telecom thing. But these are not relevant to you what you currently or previously studied. So yeah, so but for student visa we need to prove that course progression as well for you, so that you get the student visa granted, and at the same time we have to worry for a second uh, skilled assessment as well, so that it opens a new door for you to apply for the general skilled migration. But because if you already done uh, general motor mechanic package, so what you I can suggest you, if you complete 2 years of full-time experience, and provided your employer or you find an employer who's willing to sponsor you, then employer sponsored visa would be a better option for you than going for a student visa. So that gives you a future PR pathway as well, because it's on MLTS as well. So you can definitely once you complete 3 years of experience, you can go for a 186 direct entry, or if you stay with the same employer for 3 years, you can go for temporary transition stream. So yeah, that'll be the way to go. So employer sponsored visa would be a better option. So it, using the same skill set or the current skill set you have for your PR pathway. So Asad is asking if I'm an associate professor with PhD in enterprise management. I'm turning 40 next year and I'm offshore. Which pathway is appropriate for me? If you are professor, Asad, so there is an occupation which is a university lecturer. So the skill assessment is done by VET assess. So there are requirements. You done some journal, you publish, you have publications in the past 5 years, and you're doing the research work as well. If you can prove that, and if you just go on a VETSES website and check for university lecturer, so you can try for the skill assessment requirements. So basically, you qualification plus 1 year experience plus the additional requirements for the university lecture. So if you can manage to provide all those documents and get the skill assessment done, so you still under the still under 45, and based on your experience, if you can manage to get 65 points, so yeah, 65 points for university lecturer, previously it's been very, very it's good enough. So you get an invite on 65 points, and yeah, so that's one way of getting the skill assessment and applying for general skilled migration till you hit the age of 45. So but after 40, once you turn 40, you only get 15 points for age. But if you under 40, from 33 to 40, you get 25 points, so you lose those critical 10 points. So you would need good English. And yeah, of course, as you 40, so I believe you got a good experience. So, and you get PhD points as well, for your qualification, 20 points. So yeah, so get the skill assessment, and then yeah, definitely you can try the general skill migration pathway. So moving on to the next question, Viranga, is that okay if I change workplace while waiting for ROI reply? I'm in same position as a chef. Working as a previous question, working as a chef in Greater Adelaide and got 2 years there. So yeah, so with if you change the position, that doesn't really matter, because as long as you working is all fine. So when South Australia selects you, so as long as we can provide all the documents, so when you apply for ROI, you claim that you working 6 months minimum, 30 hours a week. So as long as you can prove that should be fine. Changing employer won't make any create any issues. So yeah, so it doesn't. Yes, you can change employer in South Australia. So no problems with that. So yeah, so when you lodged ROI, so you claim minimum. So as long as you can provide 26 weeks, which becomes which is equivalent to 6 months, as long as 26 weekly pay slips or 13 fortnightly pay slips with 30 hours a week or 60 hours a fortnight, as long as you manage to convince them, or provide all the documentation for that claimed experience, and you provide all the residence evidence when you are selected and you do the nomination application, should be all good, and you can get the reference letter and the new evidence from the new employer as well. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, we still wait for the new questions. Yeah, so we got another one. Yeah, so yeah, massive changes coming in the next few weeks in the migration industry, and so yeah, fingers crossed. Seems like it'll be the employer-sponsored visas would be the next go, at least for this financial year, because of the low number of seats for the general skilled migration. But still, you keep applying, and yeah, so you, as long as you meeting the expression of interest EOI requirements, and state you are residing, or offshore, which states you can apply for a, you should apply. Who knows, last year no one knew, chefs would get all of them all over Australia. If anyone had 65 points in December 2022, they all got the invitations for 189. So yeah, so sometimes very hard to predict what's in stock for us in the future. So if anyone is eligible to apply for EOI, and then the relevant state or the required state application. So yeah, so as per their process, so I do suggest you go ahead with lodging the EOI and the ROI or the nomination application, and be in the queue. So even the EOI, the older the better. So it's always good to be in the lines to be selected. So, and if anyone is eligible, or think of any inquiry regarding skill assessment, so yeah, so called skill assessment is the first step, the foundation stone to the general skill migration. So if any of you or any of our clients need any help with the skills assessment, so please, mainly it's the bodies wet assess, general requirement, qualification, relevant qualification, maybe diploma or bachelor, and then 1 year post qualification experience, 20 hours a week. So that's the wet assess. So with the trade, usually it's the job ready program, and then there is another one, OSAP is offshore skill assessment program, provided is the trade occupation and listed on the website, or the OSAP thing, or otherwise you can do MSA skill assessment. So all the trade occupation go through the TRA or through their registered RTOs, VETSES, or ATTC, or other William English. So yeah, so you can get the skill assessment through them, and all the ICT occupations are through ACS, Australian Computer Society. All the engineering occupations are through Engineering Australia. So these are the main, I would suggest, the relevant skill assessment bodies who provide the skill assessment. So that's the first thing which we need to go for the general skilled migration. So yeah, I strongly recommend or suggest all our clients that, if you don't, because time is essence. So if you on a student visa or on a 485 visa, so don't, 485 specifically is a very critical visa. So you don't waste any of your time while holding that visa, because so that's the time when you develop your PR pathway. So yeah, if you need any help with any visa skill assessment, be it the visas can be student visa or admission process, or your skill assessment, or skilled migration, parent visa, partner visa, 485 visa, 485 extension, or any other visa, or employer sponsored visas. So yeah, so you can visit any of our branches, or you can give us a call on any of our branches. So I'm based in um, southeastern suburb of Cranbourne in Victoria and Melbourne. So yeah, so we opened this new branch on 2nd of October. So we only 1 month old in this branch. Yeah, so if you need any help, feel free to contact us. And thank you so much for joining us on this Ask Aussizz live session, and wish you guys all the very, very best. And You all have a lovely, lovely weekend, and hope to see you next very, very soon. Thank you.